right, y'all. I'm your girl, rapper Blondie Pink, comedian, actress, civil rights leader, Michelle Hope Walker. All right, y'all. So here's the Racism Against Black Women video. I decided times when I don't do a new one this month, I'm going to repost one of the past ones, because I've been doing these racism against black women reality. I wish I had listened to one videos for years, so I have plenty of them to repost. But so today is February 4th, and it is 2026, and it is Wednesday, Rosa Parks' birthday. So here in Los Angeles, California, the buses are free, and I'm sure the trains are too, because again, we know Rosa Parks helped to desegregate the buses all over. She started that when she went to go sit on the bus, you know, blacks had to sit in the back. And, once that back part got full, then you come up, a little bit further into the bus to have a seat. And so I guess wherever she was sitting, white person came on and, she didn't feel like getting up. She's like, I done worked just as hard as, he has. She, and so that's what kicked it off, because they arrested her. And at the time she worked for the NAACP. So she did already have some form of leadership on her. And that's why I say it's good to be a part of your civil rights group. Even if sometimes, because I know I've been a part of, sometimes be so much going on within the groups. You be like, look, I just want to stand up for rights. I don't know what y'all doing, talking about each other, doing each other. But I'm not saying all of them are like that. But I'm just saying, don't get caught up in that. Just still try to be a part of the group and don't get caught up in the personalities and different things like that. Because it is good to be part of a civil rights group. NAACP, you got your Urban League, you got Rainbow Coalition, you got Al Sharpton's group, NAN, there's a National Action, and so there's just a lot of groups that you can join. So Rosa Parks was already a part of NAACP. I think she was like the secretary or something like that. So she knew her rights. So she didn't want to get in. That sparked it. So a strong black woman standing up is like, no, not today. The kids say, no, not today. Rosa was like, not today. I'm sitting here today. And they arrested her, Then, of course, the leaders came and got out of jail, and they used that to start off their platform of the bus boycott. And so Rosa Parks' birthday today. And now the racism of it all. I'm your girl, rapper Blondie Pink, comedian, actress, civil rights leader, Michelle Hope Walker. So the racism of it all is that still things that men do get more praises on quote unquote a higher level than women. Now here you got Rosa Parks, it's her birthday. Everybody should be celebrating her. Everybody should be like, Rosa. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure in some areas they are really going all out for Rosa Parks' birthday. I've been blessed to be in Montgomery and take pictures with a lot of the landmarks that she was at, and different things that showed a lot of. She even has a library, I believe it was a library there in Montgomery, named after her and everything, Rosa Parks. But, they should be cheering on Rosa Parks just like they do Martin Luther King, just like they do a lot of other people, So there's the racism against black women in that we can work and work and work. And in this movement, I'm walking up a hill, y'all. Hey, y'all know that ass. I'm downtown Los Angeles, California. I'm leaving the government buildings where I was going to city council, me and my Los Angeles city council meetings to tell my leaders, black leaders, thank you. It's Black History Month. Again, I thank all my leaders, but it's Black History Month, so I want to thank my black leaders, because again, it's even more challenging for our black leaders, especially in our area where we are not the majority here in Los Angeles City or Los Angeles County. So when we get elected, that is a big deal. It's not easy for them to do, and then they have to maintain it. And I'm blessed that I'm a black woman, and I got 3 black women leaders locally. I got my Mayor Karen Bass, black woman, love her natural. Y'all know I be rocking my natural, my little short natural, and well, actually it's growing out now, but so it's long again. But and then I have my city council woman, Los Angeles City Councilwoman Heather Hutt, black woman, and then I have my Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors, Representative Holly J. Mitchell. So I have a lot. You know what I think? I might be able to on the street. So I have a lot of black leaders, and that's a blessing again, where I'm in an area that there's not that many black people, but I'm blessed to have be in the district where my leaders are black women. So I just, I just try to attend much of their events. I try to cheer them on because I don't know how long this is going to last. But I thank God for it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you have to be a black woman to lead me. You could be any, but to have someone to lead you that is a black woman that understands some of the challenges that black women go through is just a blessing, and I just want to pinch myself, be so happy about it, and so yeah, and so that's our, but like I was saying, so for Rosa Parks, she should constantly be cheered on, but that's the racism of it all, is that we can work and work and work, and they don't cheer on the black woman as much as they should. Now, I know in this election here, in some of the past elections, especially that one election actually that was in the Alabama area, because that was black women that got that man elected at that time, and they're seeing the power of black women, even with Kamala, when it came to the black women win, which actually at our Los Angeles City Council building, City Hall, where I just left, and today's February 4th, 2026, they had black women lead ceremony, which was so nice. Y'all know I have allergies to just about everything, so I couldn't hardly eat enough. I was able to eat the macaroni and cheese, and boy, that macaroni and cheese was good. But and they had the music going. Mona Lisa was doing the music, and so that was celebrating black women, and they helped to get black women elected and different things like that. So they are seeing the power of the black woman, but we still don't always get the credit that we should get. You know what I'm saying? So this is Rosa Parks' birthday, and you just hear more about it. But I do thank God that I do live in a city where they're like, okay, bus is free, because she did desegregate the buses, so bus is free, on Rosa Parks' birthday. So I do like that. And I'm sure, like I said, in other areas, they're probably doing a lot of other stuff in relation to Rosa Parks and everything. And then you all may see some of the video that I'll post that the kids had their march today, Ice Out, where the kids came out of grade schools and high schools, middle schools, maybe even elementary schools, and maybe the parents brought them out, and they are doing a protest down at City Hall too, Ice Out, immigration protest. And so, but yeah, so racism against black women, that's what this video is about. And the day of this video is February 4th, 2026, and it is Wednesday. And I am the creator, the executive producer of it. And this is a reality docuseries because it's ongoing, because, every day, black women, we have to deal with the racism of it all. You know what I'm saying? Black women being in spaces, that people just sometimes don't want black women in spaces, in any space, which is wrong, because we can come, I got a song, all spaces are black spaces, and it's Tiana Taylor, speak that, you know what I'm saying, because Tiana, she spoke up at the Golden Globes where she talked about all spaces are black spaces. We belong here at the Golden Globes. We belong winning, Golden Globe Awards, we belong. And so I like that, where she talked about that, so all spaces are black spaces. All spaces are spaces that, we can come together. We can go to events, anywhere, but like I said, with black women, sometimes it's still that challenge of when we go space, people looking at us suspiciously, acting like we're doing something wrong. We're not even doing that wrong. But what that is, and we haven't opened our mouth, because we have, what were you doing? Nothing. And that's why I have to pray for even black people, that when they see racism, blatant racism, that they will sit there and still quiz the black person to see if they done something wrong. No, because you got racists, all kind of races, different places, and all kind of races of women going different places. And they are some, but and ain't nobody saying nothing to them. So, it's, stop blaming the black women for being the victim of racism, And not that we walk around with a victim mentality, but it's the point of support black women. And like I always do my commercial, save a black woman. So if you somewhere and you see that security or someone is mistreating a black woman, you go up and be nice to her and help her. Do you know what? Sometimes just the mere point of someone else being there, because a lot of times I feel like I feel like I'm always dealing with racism. But again, because, I'm that boss chick, I roll by myself. But it's not by myself because I know spiritually God is with me. You know what I'm saying? And I think they tend to be more racist towards you, even more so sometimes when you're by yourself. Where maybe it's a group of you, they're not as racist. They might still be racist, but not, because you got witnesses with you. But I'm like, I got a witness too. I got Jesus, God, and then I got this camera that I'm going to keep on whenever I start feeling unsafe. And so, and please turn your cameras on when you're feeling safe. Don't argue with nobody. Soon as they come up to you, you ain't doing nothing wrong. There's no reason for them to be walking up to you, security and different people like you've done something wrong. Turn that camera on and let the camera capture the whole racism of it all. But yeah, so it's Rosa Parks' birthday. And so again, just thank you, Rosa Parks. Thank you. Women taking leadership, and I like that. The dinner event that they just had at the Los Angeles City Hall, Black Women Lead, because we do. I've been running for offices, public offices, political offices since I was 18 or 19 years old. In college, I was, president of Black Student Association, president of Student Senate, first Black woman student trustee at Richland Community College in Decatur, Illinois, secretary of the Christian Club, and then coming out that ran for city council. What's that? I think it was either 17, it might have been 18 when I ran for city council. Which me running for city council in Decatur, Illinois, in the Decatur City Council prompt a lot of adults, people more mature than me to run, because they have been scared to run for whatever reason. They have been scared to run the whole time for city council. But and I've heard some of them say, once they see me get out there and that I was not afraid to run, especially when you're young, you don't be afraid of nothing. You be like, oh, what we need to do? You be ready to go. And so I think it was about 17, 18, I was ready to go. I'm like, where we going? I think we need change. This racism needs to stop. Okay. And I didn't even know as much then as I know now as far as the movement and the different things. And so, and actually shouts out to Decatur, Illinois, because it's been some people and different people telling people to run for office. I have a family member, this is like family to me, that's running for office right now. Shouts out to Stephanie running for Macon County board, so we got to support each other, because yes, we do need people who look like us on these different boards, in these different positions. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that other people cannot represent us, because they can. I mean, they always have. We're not always at the table, so we have no choice but to depend on other races and people to help represent us. But when we do get the opportunity to have someone at the table, get them there. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Because they understand Black people, they understand Black women, other women, Black women, Now, I know some of y'all be like, well, we got Black women, they still, well, I know sometimes it's the mentality now. Sometimes a person can be the color skin Black, but then still have racist actually mentality against Black people themselves. So we have to pray for those type of people. But still, I think by the sight of them being there and color added to the board, or, to the area, whatever they ran for, and God still looks good in a sense. We just might want to run someone else that actually stands for Black people and is Black. All right, y'all know I'm comedian Michelle Hope Walker. Let's see, what else do I want to say, right? Because I'm walking down this street so y'all getting the sights of Los Angeles, California. This is downtown Los Angeles, and this is the racism against Black women video. I cannot really see. I'm just depending on that y'all can see me in this video. And it's February 4th, 2026, Rosa Parks' birthday. So we shout out to that. And it's Black History Month. It's February. So we're celebrating Black History Month. And so let's see, racism against Black women. Yeah, that might be wrapped up today. Oh, well, the key thing, too, I have been wanting to tell y'all, too. Now, I know sometime when I get on here, I'm telling you all about, just, get home. And that's true. You want to just get home. You don't really want to argue and whatever, because, unfortunately, a lot of people don't stand up for Black women. Unfortunately, when people see security at you, and you ain't done nothing, but they just assume you've done something because you're a Black woman. And unfortunately, some people assume negativity about Black women. They don't look at us. I got all kinds of college degrees. They don't look at me and be like, oh, she got a lot of college degrees. You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing. Other races of women coming around, they may not look at them and think about them, about costume, but they at least treat them nice. With us, they will go negative and treat us negative or have negative thoughts, like we're doing, like every move we make is a negative, and it's not. What they say, hashtag black people doing normal things, hashtag black women doing normal things, but people looking at it and acting like we're doing something wrong and we're not. We walk down the street. When they walking down the street, you can't walk down the street. What's going on? Just crazy stuff, but so I was just telling you, a lot of times don't get caught up in the drama, turn your camera on whenever you can, you ain't got to tell me to turn the camera, just pull it out and turn it on and record the interaction. Because you already know it's a racist interaction. They should not be approaching you. You're not doing nothing wrong in that space. You're in the space, and it's okay for you to be in whatever space. So I'm talking about the stores, museums, wherever you are. You have the right to be in those spaces. And but you can sue, because now that's what I want to tell you now. I did have a hate crime, and the person got locked up and did time. So don't get me wrong when I tell you about to just make it home. Right, you make it home, but then also if someone's attacking you and someone's doing racist things, you document it, you call the police, and you press charges. And yes, so some of you all, if you've been following me for a long time, you may remember that when I had a hate crime, and I was at court every time it's time for that person to go to court, I was right there. I testify, I followed through, because they say sometimes the people will call the police on people, but then don't follow through. Oh yeah, I followed all the way through. They were locked up for a while. I was like, no, because now again, you pick and choose your battles, but that particular battle right there, I was like, no, that was too much, so that battle right there, I was like, no, of what went down with the hate crime. And so I stuck that through, and they got some time. So, it's the balance of the two. You have to almost like pick your battles to see which one is gonna be the one, for you, that you might want to follow through. If you really feel like this is something that, no, I'm gonna follow through on this one, you press charges and you go to the court, and I even helped them find the person came back. I helped them find, I heard them call the police. Now it was a challenge, so that'd be a whole nother story. Black woman trying to report when somebody doing something wrong to her, because nobody really wants to hear that one. They just always assume the black woman doing something to somebody, and that's not true. We are great, beautiful, educated black women, not doing nothing wrong to nobody. And our presence, us being in the space, is a good thing. That's not a bad thing. And so, you have to maybe deal with reporting on trying to get, because I dealt with the challenge of just trying to find a police officer that would take the report. And that's something, somebody doing something, and you as a black woman, you can't find a police officer to take the report. But anyway, so eventually they came back again and done some stuff. And that police officer that came, tall white man, very nice, he took the report, he handled the business. Thank God for him. And like I said, then when I ended up seeing the person, then they end up, I called the police again, and they end up arresting him. And so I pressed charges. I went to court. Every time there was a court day, I was at that court, and they got time, So I'm just saying all that to say, you have to, decide, gauge, and look at what you want to do, and look at how you're going to handle it. So I pressed charges. They got time for being racist and that hate crime. And so you can do that. Now again, you're going to have to be ready to put in the work to do it. But, if it comes to certain thing that somebody's doing to you of a hate crime that, you're like, hey, I got to take a stand on this one, you do it and you handle that business, But like I said, a lot of the stuff, again, it's so sad that being racist against black women is just like a systemic racism. People just don't think about it. They just laugh and they just pick what you see, and they just all think it's okay. And sometimes there's nowhere for the black woman to turn for help, because no one is trying to help the black woman to quit. People will see somebody messing with you and just, turn their head when you try to look to them like, are you going to help me? It'd be amazing, So also you just, like I said, get into the points of ignoring things too, in a sense that just for safety, because, your goal at that point is just to get home. And get home safely, so you're not as caught up on, all the other stuff. So, so those are just some of the tips. I guess I could have walked this way. Okay. I'm down here. I'm about to go run some more errands. But yeah, so you have to pick and choose on your own on what you feel like you need to handle, you know. But for us black women, it's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing if people misjudging you. Everyday thing, you dressed up going to handle business, or you know, you dressed up going to, y'all know me, I'm working award shows, TV shows, you know, and then you get people that thinking you're going somewhere, going to hoe, or whatever. You're like, no, I've never been a hoe. But anyway, shouts out to the hoe. I mean, I'm not saying, you know, I ain't putting nobody down. I'm just saying that's just not my lane. That's not what I do. You know what I'm saying? But and then the way they're saying it, sometimes people, they're trying to be negative towards the black woman, and so that's where you really have to, you know, you really just have to watch it. But the key thing, like I tell y'all, God is with us. God got us. No matter what, God got us. And that's the key thing that I'm always telling people to remember, is that God got us. So even when people, you know, are doing all that racist stuff to us and stuff, you know, God got us. God got us. And so if you don't know Jesus Christ, ask God to come into your heart. You know, God, I love you. I thank you for everything in the name of Jesus. You know, be there for me, you know, and you just establish that relationship with God. And as you establish that relationship with God, God is right there. It's like Jesus, God is like cheese, you know, makes everything better. God makes everything better. You stay prayed up in the name of Jesus and stay focused on what God got you focused on. You know, I'm telling you, it works out. All right, y'all. I got to go handle business. But I wanted to go ahead and do that racism against black women video today. And so I did to motivate you all, to encourage you all. So it's not a video. The show Racism Against Black Women is not, it's not making you feel like, oh, everybody hates black women. No, although sometimes we can be a lot of areas that feel like that. But no, it's motivating you. It's motivating you that you're not the only one that may experience that racism against black women, because other women are experiencing the same racism you get. You know, they're not criticizing other women's hair like they criticize the black women hair. They're not criticizing other women the way they criticize black women, period, no matter what we do, having some type of criticism. And then the whole systemic racism part of it, that for whatever reason, it seemed like it's okay to criticize black women. You know, it's okay to sing with this person. There you go, boy. Hey, boo. That it's okay, and it's not okay. That's not okay to do. And so you have to stay prayed up, and you have to, you know, and sometimes you can speak up if you feel like it. But one thing I've been learning, sometimes when a person is racist, they just racist. No matter, and you don't want to watch them because, again, you're a black woman. So when you say something, people are already like E.F. Hutton, listening. Now, they ain't listening because they care about you. They listening to see if you're going to say something and incriminate us, if you're going to be aggressive or something, so they can call the police on you, so they can, you know, because they already don't want you in the space. So they're looking and watching, so you can do one thing that they feel like, or that they think they can accuse you of doing wrong, so they can call the police on you and try to get you out of the area. Now, I'm not saying that's all, but I'm just saying that could be what's going on. So that's what I'm saying. Go to stores, handle your business. You know they're following, you know, whatever, just to get your food and keep going. You got to eat. Because we experience the most racism in stores. And that's sad, because we just going to get food to eat. But in the midst of going to get food to eat, we have to deal with racism, which that is not right. We should not have to deal with racism and getting food to eat. All right, y'all, I gotta figure out where this post office is. Okay, yeah. All right, so I'm your girl, rapper, Blondie Pink, comedian, actress, civil rights leader, Michelle Hope Walker. All right, y'all. All right, y'all, have a blessed day. You can follow me on Instagram, Michelle Hope Walker Speaks. The post office might be down here. Michelle Hope Walker Speaks on Instagram, or on YouTube, Michelle Hope Walker Speaks 6547 is the one I use now. And then I do have another one, Michelle Hope Walker, and that's Michelle with 2 L's. Michelle Hope Walker Speaks 1870. All right, y'all, I'm about to let y'all go. Okay, so this has been Racism Against Black Women, and the date is February 4th, 2026, and celebrate Rosa Parks' birthday today, who desegregated the buses. All right, y'all, I'm your girl, rapper Blondie Pink, comedian, actress, civil rights leader Michelle Hope Walker. Keep watching.